So here we go, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Track the Girls Talk podcast, which is proudly sponsored by John Fowler Solicitors. Big up Mark Kennedy as ever for his support. I'm joined as ever by Blue Wilson, Town Women skipper, and my unbelievable co-host, and the giver of sweets at half-time. Shout out to Blue. And also we've got a special guest in Freya Godfrey, scoring for fun, playing up top from Arsenal. It's great to have her on the podcast. But first of all, let's go over to Blue. How are things? I know you've had an exam today, so that must have been draining. But thanks for joining me as ever.
Yeah, it hasn't. I'm not going to lie, it hasn't been a fun day, Ross. But you know what? I thought I'll finish this quite... this hasn't been my favourite day. I'll finish it with a pod. There is no better way to finish it. So yeah, I had an exam this morning in Cambridge for my accountancy studies. It's a nice little 2.5-hour exam. And then I was meant to be on a study course, so then had to hop over to Norwich to do a study course. So I was doing that for the rest of the day, so tax for the rest of the day. And got back in straight on the pod. So, you know, the commitment's here. But I'm doing all right. A bit tired, but, you know, you get on with it. What about you?
I'm very well, thank you. Workhorse, Blue. Absolute workhorse. I've got some exams coming up soon, and theory tests / other things. But we'll get into that. Let's move on straight away before other questions get asked. But Freya, it's great to have you on the podcast. Welcome to the Track the Girls Talk podcast. How's things at the moment? Doing really well.
Yeah, it's good. Had the day off school today, so I've had quite a relaxing day. Got a little massage earlier, so yeah, I'm good.
It's good to hear. And I didn't mention in the intro, both of you, 5 wins in a row, 5 clean sheets in a row, top of the league. You know, important run we're going on at the moment. Let's not muck about there. Let's get right into the London Bees win, 3-0 win. Freya Godfrey joining us, 2 goals from yourself. Quick round up, Freya, from the game as a player on the pitch.
Yeah, I think it was tough. I mean, the conditions were tough with the pitch. It wasn't the best playing surface, but I mean, we adapted. It was a very physical game. I think it was tough. Like, the ref didn't have the most control over it. I think she let a lot go in the first half, which probably wasn't the best idea. But yeah, we got through it, got the goals, got the win. Important 3 points.
Yeah, definitely. Blue, that we know London Bees are a physical side. They brought the battle again, just like they did in the away game. Of course, tough conditions with the pitch, but affects both sides. What's your overall thoughts on the game?
All in all, comfortable win. I think they had the odd few scares where we were just caught off, maybe out of concentration as a sort of shake, but we kept the clean sheet. But previously, London Bees became a challenge in that game away where we won it 2-1, but it came really tight. But this time we sort of showed the difference in class and how we sort of hold ourselves, because it really was a physical game. I mean, the amount of fouls and breakup, especially during the second half, was just insane. I don't know how many yellow cards got issued in the end, but it should have been a lot more. Because I remember one specifically on Lucy O'Brien, where their players just chopped her. And it's just like, at some point you're like, this becomes dangerous. But we got past that. I think in previous seasons, maybe that would have caught up with us, and maybe would have got into our heads. But we're on such a run at the minute of winning games and so focused on the end goal that it didn't really. I think it probably rattled the bench more than anyone. And the supporters stood next to me. They were not having any of it.
Well, there was one moment in the game that Boz was on the floor, Pescott was on the floor together, and it was like, it was just like bodies on the floor, and I was like, oh God, what's going on here? But it was a scrappy first half. How was it for you, Freya, playing, in a physical game? You played in the reverse fixture, of course, in the away game, but coming to AJ Arena, condition, because, it was on a 3G pitch when we played against them, but this was, on the pitch at the moment for Nick, so it isn't great, but yeah, scrappy first half.
Yeah, I think it was tough. Like, it was very physically demanding, and also, like, emotionally, like, it's hard not to let it get into your head when you're just being, like, I don't want to say beaten up, but, like, it was just horrible. Like, everyone's just getting swiped left, right, and centre, and it's hard to, like, not let it get in your head when, like, the refs just not, like, letting them get away with it almost. Yeah. So, yeah, it was tough, but, yeah, come out of it. Just about.
Yeah, and you scored the early goal, the opening goal of the game at 10th minute. Thoughts on that one? I think probably came at the right time for us to, battling them, they're defending, bodies on the line, but we got that goal.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was crucial to try and get a bit of a settle on the game. And I know, like Laf had mentioned before the game, obviously you mentioned the pitch conditions. Laf had mentioned, like, it's going to be hard playing along the floor. And I know in the previous game where I'd played number 9, she liked looking for that ball over the top. And it found Anna that time. But yeah, I think it was just almost lucky because it wasn't the best clearance. But yeah, just pounced on it and yeah.
Yeah, which was good, Blue. And sadly, though, for me, I felt we could have had maybe another 1 or 2 goals after that. We just didn't follow up. But it's just one of those things where, sometimes it hits the par or a player blocks it. We didn't capitalise on those chances. But yeah, Freya's goal was a crucial one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I would have probably been happy with that assist for Freya's goal. It was, I don't know if you score. I mean, it's on a plate, isn't it? I'd be very happy with that. But London Bees, I think they can be a tough team to break down. So although I think our chance creation was pretty good, their sort of last ditch tackles, or whether it's breaking up that rhythm that we're trying to get. Because had we got into that rhythm of going forward and constant attacks without the fouls, without the stoppages in play, do we then add 3 or 4 in the first half? I'm not sure. But I saw really good success, like you said, with the balls over the top for, especially with you, Anna, and then Pesk at sort of deeper role. That pace up front, I mean, no one's going to match that. I can't see anyone. So I thought that was a really good element to our game where we can play along the floor and we like to play nice patterns and good rotations, but also we can stick one over the top when it's right. And then the runners off that, I thought we did that quite well.
Yeah, I think so too. And Freya, a brace for yourself, a half volley in just after the second half. Thoughts on that goal? And another goal at a crucial moment.
Yeah, I was quite relieved because there was one in the first half that I probably should have put away as well, another rebound. So I was a bit annoyed at that. And then, I feel like we were creating the chances, but they weren't really, very clear-cut. And, it just come to me. And there were a couple times earlier in the game where I probably should have hit it first time. So I just thought, just hit it. And, I've sliced it, but, it's worked out all right, looped over the keeper. So, yeah, I think it was good. It was a bit of a relief as well because, 2 goals better than 1, a 2-goal margin. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I've got a question on that, actually, Freya. I haven't been in this position much. But obviously, you scored 2 goals. In your head now, is there... Okay, I can get a hat-trick here.
Oh, my God, always.
Always, okay.
Always.
Okay. I don't know whether it's tunnel vision, no, I'm there for the team or whatever, or whether that little hat-trick, could have a
nagging in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Or
scored 2 goals in my career. Don't know. Maybe under 11s or something like that.
And they count. They all count, Blue. They all count. Yeah, I'm talking them off. If I'm talking them off at 5-a-side right now, I'm just if I score a hat trick, that counts. Just playing against couple different age groups and stuff like that. Still counts. But Freya, it was of course a great third goal. Of course, Tash coming off the bench, great ball from her, and then Sarah Brazera Carrera scoring a goal. A nice little celebration with you, the handshake celebration. Some insight on that?
It was the most spontaneous thing. I heard her and Lucy O'Brien talking about it in the change rooms, and O'Brien's going, no, I'm a Spurs fan, I can't do an Arsenal celebration. And I was like, I'll do an Arsenal celebration. So we did it once in the change rooms, and then I was like, Bradslett, just do it. On the pitch, I was like, go on then. And we done it. And it was yeah.
I like it. I'm happy I got a nice capture of that moment as well. Yeah. So that's always good. For a photographer, I'm always looking for those moments. So thanks for bringing that to me. Blue, thoughts on the goal and a good finish from Sarah Brazera Carrera.
Yeah, I think Brazera's had a great spell of. I mean, there's a lot of players on our team who are having a really good spell of form and confidence. And Brazera in particular, I was stood next to Lauren Hales. It's Brazera is the ball is glued to her foot this game. I thought she did really well considering how much players like her and O'Brien can sometimes get impacted by a physical enforcement, we'll call it. So yeah, it's a great ball by Tash, and then Braziera, she's a good finisher when she's got confidence in her. And yeah, enjoyable celebration as well. But I've got a question for you actually, Freya, on that. Obviously, you and Braziera are away with international. How do you sort of spend much time with each other when you're away with England, or are you separate groups? Because it's weird how England works. I don't know how your age group is, whether there's groups or.
No, like me and Braz are inseparable in camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had to do shirt presentations at the end. So you'd present it to the next number. And the girl who presented Braz her shirt, she was like, normally seen with Freya laughing somewhere. And I was like, oh, yeah. Because we're always roommates as well. So it's just good.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Nice. See, connection on the pitch now, Ross.
Yeah.
Starting to build. It's good to see.
I like it. And that sort of brings quickly. I'm bringing this in a bit earlier, Fred. But what's that been like? Playing for England, playing for your country, and scoring as well. You know, Brad scored her first England goal, I think. Maybe she scored another England goal. Doesn't matter. But both you scoring in the recent camps.
Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, like I'm so proud of Braz. Like, I got my goal in the first game. She didn't get. I don't think she got on, which I know she was disappointed about. So then when she got a goal in the second game, like, I was buzzing for her. Like, it's just good, like, seeing your mates succeed on that level. Like, it's just the best thing to see.
And I always get blown away with these camps. You go, like, Frey, when it was freezing cold in England, I think it was in Spain, weren't it, the camp? So, like, we're just jealous of you just getting a bit of sunshine and playing a bit of football. It's a great, experience for, young players like yourself to go abroad. I know you're training and, you can't see much sights, I'm sure, but still a life experience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were on the balconies getting tans most days. So, yeah, it was good. And it's good. We get, like, the odd couple days off where we can just go out into the town and, like, see the stuff, go to the beach, stuff like that. And it's nice to just spend time. Because at the end of the day, we are, like, good mates as well. Like, we're a close team. So it's nice to just spend that time with your mates off the pitch as well.
Yeah, definitely. And, well, Blue, let's go back to the game then. Another clean sheet. Shout out to the defence once again. A different role for Pescott, playing as a wing-back. I know some of who's playing, but, Pes playing a different role there. I think she has played wing-back previously, but not for a while.
Yeah, it takes me back to Tier 4 vibes, when we used to play three at the back, or a solid three at the back, and then Anna and Pesca as wing-backs. It really takes me back to that. But, yeah, I thought she did well. I thought she had a solid game. Perhaps we'd altered that because Summer, but then Summer was warming up, and I think she's just got an ankle niggle, so nothing too serious. But it shows that we've got a good sort of flexibility. Obviously, Freya up front in a different role, Pescott wing back. We're flexible with that, and the squad still looks strong even with a few injuries out. So yeah, I thought she did well, provided good pace and attack. And yeah, I reckon she covered some mileage.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, trying to run with the ball on that pitch, I'm sure was very difficult. I'm sure Freya, I'm sure you had a few moments where you're trying to run with the ball on the pitch, but yeah, I'm sure that was difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes you just get stuck on your foot. Like, you think you're going to get some momentum going forward, and then you just got to stop again because the ball's just back there behind you, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, sadly, it's just like all that pitch is at the moment. Well, let's round off the game then. Freya, quick question on the fans. I'm sure it's been a great experience, for you as a player, but also your teammates. The drum was out. Sarah's got her own little...
Two drums.
Yeah, there's two drums there. Two drums. Although I got told that apparently some neighbours were sort of complained. They did send an email. So we'll find out if it's back for the next home game. But what's that been like, Freya? When we score, great celebrations, but just, throughout the game, there's drumming, there's, chants for players.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like, it really creates the atmosphere. And yeah, like, you can definitely hear it, and it helps with the momentum as well. And like, it's just nice. Like, when people score and like, you can hear the cheers, and like, even watching it back, like on Huddle and stuff, and like, you can hear the fans in the background, and you're like, wow. Like, I remember when I was coming off, I can't even remember why, but I thought it started like raining really heavily, but then I realised it was like the fans like banging the boards, and I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, it's the fans. I was like, wow. Like, it was just nice. Like, it's a nice thing to experience at a young age, because obviously I'm not used to it in academy games. So yeah, it's just a nice experience.
Yeah, and I've been saying this a lot, Blue, on the podcast, all the other guests we've had, but what's it been like signing autographs, getting pictures taken, people knowing your name? I know they should know your name because you're playing, but just I'm sure someone goes, oh, it's Freya. What's that been like?
Yeah, I've noticed recently I got a little fan group. Like there's like 3 or 4 girls that come with like a little poster with my name on. And it's just nice. Like it's nice to see, and I get loads of messages on social media saying well played and stuff, and it's just nice to support. Like you do see it and you do feel it, and you feel the love and you feel the like wow, like I'm actually a role model for these like young children, and it's nice. Like I think I was signing some boy's hand the other week, like thinking, is this not going to rush off in the bath later? Like, but fair enough.
Yeah, once again, it's memories for them to last forever, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, Blue, isn't it? It's, we've spoken about it multiple times, but it's just great. And as Freya said, it's not just girls; it's also boys. All ages. Come on the watch and support.
Yeah, and it's not just kids either. I've got all sorts of aged people coming up to me and asking about. And I have to take a step back because I'm like, I don't know who you are, but you know so much about my life and what I do and the stuff like that. It is kind of a weird concept to sort of get your head around. I think especially when people come up to you outside of that football environment, that is when it's like, wow, we really are we're creating a platform here to inspire all sorts of people. And you focus on that sort of generation coming up because you hope to impression them the most, but also people all ages, and perhaps it's older women who never had the chance to play football but enjoy coming to watch us because we have the opportunity and stuff like that. It's all sorts of I think it's really good, and I agreed with Freya, the fans have added a next level to us, and I don't think it's by coincidence. Since they've sort of upped their drums and chants, we've been on a really great run.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to all you fans out there. And there's also one big spectator in the stand, Mr. Kieran McKenna, Ipswich Town boss. Freya, what was that like when you found out you had the men's manager watching on? I think he was there to see your celebration with Sarah, so I don't know what he thought of that, but what was that feel like?
Yeah, I think it was good. And it shows the connection between the clubs, like the men's and the women's side. I think it was nice to see, obviously with the Her Game 2 weekend last week. I think it was nice to see that connection and like the relationships that are built between the men's and the women's side.
Yeah, definitely. Still a lot of work to do, but yeah, it was great. I think he was there with his wife and 2 kids. So I think he's got a daughter. So I'm sure she's like thinking, oh, wow, look at that, inspiring her. So yeah, big shout out to K-Mac for coming down and watching and seeing a win. Well, Blue, 5 wins in a row, 5 clean sheets, going on a very important run. Big shout out to, of course, Megan Waring, winning Player of the Month for February. We've mentioned it multiple times on the pod. Unbelievable debut season, but another shout out to her.
Yeah, definitely. I did actually vote on that poll, and I did vote for Megan. Sorry, everyone else, but Megan was the choice for me. Freya, maybe this month coming up. I don't know. I think you're in with a shout.
Yeah, maybe.
A few more goals on Sunday, and yeah, I think it might be yours. But yeah, I think she's had a great. I mean, it's her debut season, isn't it? And you forget that she's come in. She's young. She's playing centre back, and also you hear her on the pitch. Her parents are equally as good supporting us and on Twitter. It's a big shout out to them as well. Yeah. I love their tweets and all the support they give. But yeah, it's so well deserved. She's a really good girl, and I think this is only the start, to be honest. I think she's after more and more, and she's not content with where she's at, and she's working to be better and better. So yeah, it's exciting, I think.
Definitely, yeah. Big shout out to Meg's dad. He's one of the lead drummers, so big shout out to him. And Freya, Meg, I think now it's been the last few weeks where she's tried to do bicycle kicks. She's literally scored from corners. Yeah, which is great. The men's team, Cameron Burgess scored an absolute bullet header on Saturday against Bolton, and I thought, I can't wait for Meg to do something like that. But she went for a bicycle kick. Thoughts on that?
She done it last week as well, and I remember after she got up, I was just laughing. I was like, no way. Like, it's incredible how her body can move that quickly, and then like she just gets up as if it's nothing and she's sprinting back trying to defend again. I'm like, wow, you're incredible.
What makes me laugh is that she's a centre back doing that. So it's like she has a blip where she's not a centre back anymore. Tries the overhead kick, and then it's instantly back to being a centre back where she's sprinting back and like shouting at people to get back into position. It's just it does make me laugh. But I can't wait for the time it does connect, because that's going to be unreal.
Can't wait for it. But yeah, a bullet header or a bicycle kick, whatever you fancy. I'll look forward to the first goal. Well, that's the game done and dusted then. I don't think there's any other business. But time to sort of spotlight you now, Freya. We'll do 10 questions with our favourite feature. But before that, I want to just sort of round up your time at Town so far. 6 goals, 4 assists in 12 games. How has it been in that period since you signed from Arsenal? I'm sure it's been great. You know, there's been some stop-starts in terms of games, but on paper, looking very good.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been very enjoyable. Obviously, with such a young team, but also so experienced, like there's a lot to learn from, but then there's also a lot to relate with, which I think has been really helpful in like settling in. So I think I did settle in quite easy, and yeah, everyone's like been really welcoming and helped me, even where I've been. Sometimes I've been here, sometimes I haven't. Like you said, stop starts. I think it's been good, and I've enjoyed it a lot so far. And I just hope we can keep pushing and like get something out of this season.
Yeah. Without going too, deep into it, how is the balance between, still being an Arsenal player, of course, playing for the academy still there, and coming and training with us? What's the balance been like there? Traveling here, there, and everywhere.
I think sometimes some weeks have been tricky, where like maybe I haven't communicated well enough on what my load has been like with one club to the other. Sometimes it's been better. And it is definitely getting better, but we're still working on it. And it's definitely, because it's something new for both the teams as well. So I think everyone's just in a learning environment and like a process of trying to find out what's best. But yeah, it's getting better, and I'm still enjoying it with both teams. So yeah, it's good.
It's good to hear. And Blue, before we segue on to the 10 questions with, what's your thoughts on Freya so far? Once again, putting you on the spot as the captain, but just scoring the goals, playing really well, playing up front at the moment. What's your thoughts so far?
I'm trying to think, because you normally ask the question, what was your first impression?
Oh.
I'm gonna add that one in anyway.
Yeah.
I think my first impression was like, wow, you've got really long legs. I think that was my first impression. And I was like, I think I was watching trailers, I was just like, she just glides. Like, I wish I could run like that. So that was my first impression. And then obviously, as I've got to know you more and watch you played more, there's almost like an air of calmness about you when you're on the pitch. I don't know whether that's conscious or whether that's just you, whether that's an Arsenal trait, I'm not sure. But yeah, banging in the goals. I think the flexibility to play at 9 that you've shown, but also on the wing, I think is a great trait. Provides challenge in areas we haven't had before, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy if you're banging in the goals, Freya. Just continue, please. Everything's all good for me.
Definitely, yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, I think when you first signed Freya, I think I got people told me, your first few training sessions, or Kieran said to me, he saw your first training session and went, "Wow, what a player!" Just bringing your ego up here. So, but yeah, I'm sure it's been great, because we are since you come in, and just as a whole, Blue, since the start of the season, we had a bad start to the season, but we've gone on a great run as it is, a very important run. So yeah, it's sort of a great time in terms of scoring the goals and getting this great run going, Blue.
Yeah, and also to be part of a more pressurised experience where we're going for promotion, where at academy you have different experiences where you're like, okay, yeah, you get game time, and sometimes the games are of a higher quality and higher pace, but actually to replicate that and have that experience of senior football, I'd be really happy if I was in your position, to have both, because I think it's a really good balance. But yeah, well, since the start of the season, we've really built ourselves. We're in some nice momentum now. And although it shows that we're top of the table, we're not really top of the table. We're not thinking about it like that. I think it suits us more to be the chasers rather than being chased. So a different aspect to last season. But an enjoyable one, and I think all the girls are up for it and are ready for these final sort of few games to see what really entails, because it could go anywhere. I could not predict it. Obviously, I am predicting it in my head, but as a non-biased, you couldn't predict it.
No, you can't. The cliche would be, you've got 5 cup finals left to play,
Yes.
and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
We won't bring that out just yet. We'll keep that to ourselves. But 5 cup finals. Of course, Crawley Wasps up next. But before we get into that, of course, and previewing that, it's time for 10 questions with Blue. Take it away with the first question for Freya.
Oh, it's a hard one to start, actually. Who is your biggest influence?
I think probably my parents. Like, obviously, where I'm still young, can't drive yet, so they do a lot for me. Yeah. So, like, yeah, they're my taxi. They're, like, my support system. They give me advice. But, like, yeah, they still make sure I'm independent. They just help guide me through all these big decisions. And, yeah, I'm grateful.
As an add-on question, it's 10 questions and more, Blue, but just to sort of get to know you a bit more, Freya, how did you sort of get into football? Was it through your parents, or have you always loved football? You got any siblings that got you into it?
I've got 2 brothers, but neither of them played football. Both hated it.
Okay.
But I had a next door neighbour, and like we were close in age, and he'd always be playing, so I'd just kind of joined a Saturday football club, met Abby Smith through my little Saturday club, and then joined my first football team with her, which is good, which is nice, because like now I'm playing with her again, training with her again, seeing her again. Like, we've come all this way together, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, I definitely like that, Blue. When you sort of link up, I'm sure we've got so many players in the squad that you know each other because you've played, youth football or England. That's just how it comes about, Blue, sometimes.
Yeah, a little full circle moment. It is nice. I think Kyra is probably my sort of full circle. Since we played together from probably under 13s, maybe, so not quite as young, but we're sort of from the same area. And then you end up in the same place. It's strange how football works, but it's a really nice part that I enjoy.
Definitely. And Freya, you say you rely on your parents for taxiing and driving. Next question is your favourite thing to cook or eat. Can you cook, or what do you like to eat?
Probably the only thing I can cook is pasta. Like basic necessity. Like, it does the job, but yeah, I'm not the best. I do love to eat though. Like, I love it. I love going out, but I also love my mum's home cooked meals. So yeah, say my favourite thing right now, probably there's a new platter at Nandos, and like, unreal, like so good, and that's probably my favourite thing right now.
You're getting bonus points from me. A big Nando's fan myself, so I haven't had the platter yet. I'm letting myself down. I haven't gone Nando's for a few weeks, but I have to check that out. You can't go wrong, and you can't go wrong with pasta, and you can't beat mum. Your mum's cooking. You just can't beat it.
Right,
I always look forward to going home, and if she's happy to cook for me when I'm home, then I'll go home. But yeah, most of the time, yeah, she's like, Ross, you live somewhere else now. You don't need to come back for food. You can fend for yourself. You've got a girlfriend. Get her to cook for you. And she does, to be fair. My missus is a very good cook. But yeah, you can't beat a good old mum's cooking. Anyway, Blue, I'm going on a tangent. Take it away. Bring us back.
You saved that one there.
No.
This question is actually phrased, what was your favourite subject in school? But you are still in school, aren't you, Freya? So
yeah.
What is your favourite subject in school?
Probably psychology. Like, okay. I'm not very good at it, but I find it so interesting. And like, in lessons, I really enjoy it. But yeah, I'm just not really one for tests. But favourite, psychology.
Interesting. I did psychology A-level as well. But I found it, I didn't quite enjoy it as much as you, I don't think. I don't know. There's a lot of memory. I don't know if you find that. There's a lot of remembering the textbook. I struggled with that. But it's interesting concepts, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it. Next question, Freya, is what is the one item you can't live without?
Am I allowed to say my phone?
It's allowed, but you could say it if you want. And Day,
If there's nothing else you can think of, Freya, we can let you have your phone.
because at the end of the day, we do need it to contact people. Like I'm sure Blue contacted you to set you up to be on this podcast. So
It's true. It's true.
So we needed that. But
all right, I'll say football boots.
I would actually say for you, Freya, what about your what's it called? I've forgotten what it's called now.
My asthma pump.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
that's a great one for you.
About that.
Yeah, that's a great one for you.
Yeah.
What was that again? Sorry, what was that?
Freya's asthma. Yeah, the pump.
Okay.
I want one, to be honest. It looks great. One pump at the side of the pitch, and she's like got new legs. I'm like, I really want one of those.
Oh, that's great. That is great. Yeah, I think once again, if it helps with your football, you said Freya, with football boots, you need them to play. Have you got multiple boots that you use for different pitches? You know, if you know, is that like you, Freya? I know you're Puma, so that's your.
Yeah, I got metals and molds, and then just choose on the day. Definitely needed metals on Sunday.
I don't know how people do it where they've got more than. I mean, I have two pairs of boots in use, so one molds, one studs. But like EK, I reckon she's got about 7 pairs of boots in use. Every single training session, she turns up with a new pair of boots. I swear. But I'm just like, how can you get used to different? I don't know. Or they wear a different type of boot. So one type of boot in a mold and a different type of boot in a stud. I'm like, it's a different boot. Surely that changes things, but doesn't.
I don't get that with Lucy O'Brien. Like 1 week she's wearing Pumas, the next week she's wearing Nike. So I'm like, how do your feet mold to these different boots?
Yeah, it must be a different feeling. I don't know. I wouldn't like that. I'm like one pair of boots, different colours is okay, but same style.
Yeah.
One thing I loved, Blue, from last week, seeing in your, because you've got sort of, I wouldn't say, you could say iconic boots, because every time I've seen a picture of you, is those sort of yellowy group, boots, and are they just your go-to you've always worn for the last few years?
Yeah, I've had a few pairs of those. I think I've probably had 3 or 4 pairs of that same boot. And yeah, I really like them. I miss the old school Nike Hypervenoms. They're my favourite boot of all time. But I've got a pink pair of studs, the same sort of style. And actually, I'm going to call out my sister. So my sister, she's 13 or 14, I can't remember. Anyway, she's like, I need to get some new boots. So anyway, she's bought the exact same pair of boots as me. And I'm like, Drew, you're a fan. You're a fan of me. Just accept it. And she's not having it. She's like, no, I'm not. And then she asks me to wear her boots in for her because they're giving her blisters. That's what I do. I wear them in. And then give them back. And she's like, here you go. It's just insane, isn't it?
Yeah, you're basically giving her superpowers now, Blue. Of course, it segues nicely on to the next question. But if you wear someone else's boots, it sort of gives you the power of Blue Wilson, power of Freya Godfrey. So
who wouldn't want that, to be fair? But we will move on to the next question. If you could have a superpower, what would you choose it to be?
Probably teleportation.
Teleportation, yeah. It's the one that, I think it's the overpowered one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's allowed still, Blue. Still allowed. We're still allowing it, but it's a go-to because everyone, you want to get to A to B, don't you? And so, as some people say, never late. You can just, don't need to worry about the travel, the long trips we've been going on. What's that been like, actually, Freya? Another question I'm chucking in, Blue. 10 or more. What's that been like doing the overnight, staying in hotels, being with the team, bonding sessions, and just, having a good chats?
Yeah, it's been really good. I think it's helped settle in, like just doing everything with the team, like being on the coach for such a long time, singing, eating, chilling, sleeping, like just doing everything and then waking up the next morning and do it all again. I think it's been really good, like getting to know all the girls and helped me settle in.
I think you did the Plymouth trip, didn't you? Sadly, you didn't play, but to go all that way and not, play, because I'm sure I think you had an injury knock. But yeah, we've spoke about Plymouth a lot on this podcast, Blue, but it's a lovely part of the world, isn't it? It's your thoughts. No, Freya.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was good. It was tough because obviously, I went all that way and then found out on the day that I wasn't going to play. Felt worse for my dad because he travelled all the way as well.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, he enjoyed it. Like, it was a good game, lots of goals, good stadium. He has this thing where he like takes note of all the football stadiums that he's been to.
Okay.
So even if I'm not playing, he'll probably still come to like check off a stadium off his list.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Freya's dad for doing that. That's a long trip. When you feel like you're literally in Plymouth, you're still got like an hour down the road. I think when you get to like Exeter, you're into Devon, you're like, oh, we're nearly there. No, another hour to go. But yeah, that's what it is. Next question, Freya, for you is what small thing annoys you? Yeah.
I can't take heavy breathing. Like, I know it sounds silly because I'm asthmatic and I probably heavy breathe a lot, but I hate it when other people do it. Like, it's a pet peeve. Like, if I'm sleeping next to someone and you're breathing in my face, like, I can't do it. Like, if someone's breathing when they're eating, like, I can't do it.
Oh yeah, no, that one I can't do. That one I can't do.
And like, even standing on the pitch next to someone and you're panting in my ear, I just don't like it.
Yeah, I got what you mean on that. Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, then, of course, we had the celebrations on Sunday. I'm sure that must have been, everyone's bundling on each other, celebrating. I'm sure you're like, great, I've just scored, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one part, like, Laugh ran over and, like, touched my face and, like, proper got up in my face. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I hate people near my face. I can't do it.
Yeah. But it's in the moment, of course, just in the moment, and everyone just doesn't think about that. But maybe, now people will know that, no touching face, no heavy breathing. Everything else is fine. So, high fives all around and all that. Don't mind that. But, any heavy breathing, all that. So, there we go. Blue, take it away.
Next one. Favourite holiday destination?
Is this that I've been to or where I want to go?
Either or both.
Okay. My favourite place that I've been is probably Rome. I went Rome with my family, and that was really nice. Football-wise, I'd probably say when we went to Portugal, like, that was beautiful. Got a really nice tan. But yeah, Rome was really good. Like, it had, my family's very opposites. Like, I like relaxing on the beach. They like looking at stuff, walking around, seeing museums, seeing like artifacts and stuff. So it had a bit of everything. It was like best of both worlds. So that was really nice. I want to go Greece. Like, I think it's beautiful and I just really want to go. Or like Bora Bora or something. Like, just really want to go.
Yeah, Greece, big shout out. I know, Blue, in the summer last year, you girls went to Greece. I've been to Greece many times. Very, very beautiful country.
It is. I mean, yeah. It was a fun trip. I was just taking my mum back to that trip. Yeah, it was quite a full-on one. But hopefully, if the season goes well, the season continues to go well, we'll have a similar one and celebrate the season. But I think it's always good, like you said, Freya, to have a bit of both. Like, I'm a big fan of the holiday where you have a bit of like doing stuff and seeing places, but then also you have that relaxation where you're like, instead of coming back from a holiday thinking, oh my god, I'm more tired than I was before, you have that relaxation and you just chill. I love a bit of a mix. It's good for me, but it's hard to make everyone in the family happy. That's the hardest part of the holiday.
Definitely. Now, next question, Fra. Are you an early bird or night owl?
Early bird, definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Like, if you get to me, like, if you're with me past 9 o'clock at night, like, it's over. Like,
really?
I'm done.
Wow. Okay.
I can't do it.
Interesting.
I'll literally zone out. I'll just become the worst person ever. Like, you don't want to see me. In the mornings, though, I'm all right.
So you an early sleeper then? Like, is bedtime early for you? Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, I'd say, like, suitably between 10 and half 10.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes I can go, like, 9, half 9, and, like, I'll say goodnight, and then my mum's like, you're going to bed already? And I'm like, yeah.
They make you feel so guilty, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get some sleep.
But how early are you saying, though, Freya, in terms of, like, when you wake up? How early are you saying?
I think it depends on the occasion. If I'm waking up for something exciting, I'm always in a good mood. If I'm waking up and I've woken up naturally, I'll be in a good mood. If someone wakes me up and it's for something that I'm dreading, then no, like not an early person. And like if someone's talking at me and like I'm that tired, like no. But yeah, I'm not too bad. Like on school days and stuff, it's all right.
This is a question. Sorry, Blue, I'm doing it again. I get ideas, I get questions in mind. This is for both of you. What's the sort of ideal time for you to go to bed / wake up on a match day? Although I don't know if you want to say this just in case it's bad, and then Joe will find out, and then I don't know, of course he's listening. But yeah. I don't think it really matters if you're ready. You arrive on time and you give him the goods. I'm sure he doesn't care what time you go to bed or whatever. But it sounds like early bird anyway, so all good.
Yeah, I think for me, going to bed around 10:30 to 11, because that's more sort of natural in sort of because it's hard to change from like midweek schedule to then weekend for a match. And then ideally, I'd set an alarm at say 9:30 just in case I have a nightmare and sleep all the way to 9:30, but likely I'd wake up sort of 7:45. That's my normal sort of schedule. But yeah, I kind of let myself sleep and have a panic alarm if I need it, so I don't miss the game completely. But naturally waking up is the best thing.
Yeah. I'd say I'd probably go to bed about 10 maybe before a match day. And then, I wake up naturally around like 7:30. So if I've had a bad night's sleep, I might close my eyes and get a bit more. But normally I just like to start my day, just start getting on with it, getting ready for the game.
Definitely. Do you know what? I think it can be a skill, like trying to wake up and not hit the snooze. I'm so bad with that. I want to learn that a bit more. As you said, Freya, if you know you've got something important that day, I think your body just naturally just wakes you up. But there's just times where I'm like, I need to wake up this particular time, and I'm like, so I snooze, and I haven't got enough time now to really get ready. But yeah, I'll have to learn better. But next question, Blue.
Actually, on that topic, I was speaking to Tash about alarms, and she doesn't use alarms. Her body clock is so good that it wakes herself up. I'm like, so you don't even set an alarm just in case? She's like, no, I just wake up.
Wow.
That is trust. That is trust in your own body. I'd be up all night. If I don't set an alarm, I'd be up all night stressing like, is it now time to get up? Am I going to miss something? But she's like, no, done it for years. It's fair enough, Tash. I'm sure we'll get her on the pod soon. But next question. What skill would you most like to master? This could be anything, sport related or external as well.
Oh. Probably, I'm not sure. Football related, I'd love to learn how to do a Panenka penalty.
I reckon you could do one, Like,
I just think it'll be like just composed. Like that's just composure. Outside of football, probably I just want to learn how to drive. Like I'm learning, but I just want my license. Like I just need my license.
Yeah. How are the lessons going?
Yeah, it's all right. I've been having them since my 17th, so almost a year now.
Okay.
But like obviously with like football schedule and stuff, it's hard to fit them in.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to book my theory right now, but I just have no time.
Yeah.
And it's just stress. So I keep putting it off, but then I still have no time, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Just book it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just want to learn how to drive.
It is a lifesaver. Indeed.
Move on quickly, Blue, before I know you're going to chuck in a question there.
No questions, Ross. Just
no question.
Yeah.
That's good. Running joke, I know. But Freya, final question. What has been the one thing you've had to overcome in football? Of course, still early in your footballing career, but anything so far you've had to overcome?
Mentality. Like in my on the 18s now, in my England age, but last year playing under 17s was tough. There was stuff going on in life which I didn't really deal with very well, and like it took a big toll on me mentally, and it then started to show on the pitch, which was very tough. And like getting dropped because it was affecting my performance was tough. But yeah, I mean, I started working with Jack, the psychologist at Ipswich, before I even like knew like me coming to Ipswich would ever be a thing. So he helped a lot, to be fair. And like it's nice now coming around the club and seeing him, and just him also seeing the progress that I've made compared to when I first went to him. It's like you said earlier, Blue, like the full circle moments. It's just nice.
Yeah, big shout out to Jack Mitchell. Dr. Jack Mitchell.
Dr. Jack Mitchell. I did notice that on Instagram.
Good old Jack. Yeah, he's been a great addition to the backroom staff and just as the squad in general. You know, those sort of members of staff don't really get mentioned as much, but that they should, because some of the work they do behind the scenes. So yeah, big shout out to Jack as always. Now let's go on to the final piece of the podcast, and of course we've got a game this weekend, our first away trip for a while, actually. We've had a lot of home games, which I think we've been all happy about. But we've got a trip to Crawley Wasps this weekend, bottom of the league, Crawley, which surprised me when I haven't looked at the table that much recently. But yeah, bottom of the table, only one win all season, a 3-1 defeat last time out against MK Dons. I think good old Zoe Barrett scored for them in that game. They have also lost 6-1 at Oxford recently, of course, one of our rivals. We beat them 3-0 at home. Last time, of course, that was Freya, your home debut. What's your memories from that game, scoring, and Bonnie scored, and also Tash with a header to round off the win? What's your memories of playing Crawley?
I remember just being really ecstatic. Like I can picture the behind the scenes video of my goal, and like I just remember my celebration, like the smile on my face. Like I can't really. It was such a long time ago. I can't remember it first person, but I remember it like from the huddle view and like the behind the scenes. Like I just remember it being a good day. Obviously getting my first senior goal was just unbelievable, and in front of the home fans as well, like meeting them all, like hearing them like sing my praises. It was really nice. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, Blue, I don't know when that was. That's definitely a long time ago. Lots happened since then. You've returned since then, which is always great. What's your memories of that game? And Crawley Wasps as a team that they're struggling this season?
Similar to Freya, I don't have many memories of the game, but kind of surprised by Crawley's. I don't know. Previous seasons they've done better. They've always been a sort of a comfortable team within Tier 3 in our league, but they did have quite a few changes over the summer. I think a few key members of their team left, and maybe they're seeing the sort of repercussions of that. But then again, no one in this league anymore is a walkover. So although it suggests and the results suggest, we will still need to go out and play well. It's away from home. We've been comfortable at home recently, so that'll be a change. And you never know what gets thrown at you. It might be a ref decision. It might be something's not quite working. It might be they break up the play. You never know. So we'll go into the game thinking and feeling them the same as any other team, and hopefully play well in order to win the game.
Yeah, definitely. 2 p.m. kickoff at the best name. No, not the best name, but Camping World Community Stadium. Is where we're going to be heading. Yeah, Camping
That's
World Community Stadium. Yeah, it's a bit of a long-winded one, isn't it? You go, Camping World Community Stadium. I didn't go last year. I don't think you went, Blue, either. But Kieran said it's a nice little setup down there. So we'll find out, I'm sure, on this Sunday. Mm-hmm. But yeah, any other business from yourself? Of course, shout out to the supporters group who will be doing a mini bus for the game. So if you want to go and want to get some more information, contact them at ITFC WOSC SC on all the socials and email as well. And yeah, if you want to get involved, travel down, go for it. But yeah, Blue, any other business from yourself?
Don't think so, Ross.
Brilliant. So. Nice one. Freya, any other business? Any shout outs you want to shout out?
Just my parents, like texting me, waiting for me to patiently pass my driving test. Yeah, I wouldn't be here without them. So yeah, big shout out.
Big shout out indeed. Big shout out to all the parents. I know, Blue, I'm sure your mum and dad, and you said maybe your sisters could be listening. Drew
is not listening, but my mum and dad will be listening.
Shout out to them. So yeah, Blue, as always, take it away, outro it as you do.
Thank you both for joining me, and thanks if you made it this far for listening. Although we're away, join us at the Camping World Community Stadium. Why not? What name? What stadium to tick off the list? 2 p.m. kickoff. If not, we'll join you next week to round up the game. Thank you.